black goes to black, and then red goes to blue. Oh man. Here with my receipt. Alright, so we know, let's see, Cherokee here, and these electric fans. We've all probably run into how to get them to come on, flip switches. I've seen light switches. I've seen wired straight to the batteries, headlights, yada yada yada. Anyways, not gonna get too technical. As far as I know, this is the cheapest, easiest way to make it come on automatically. Don't have to worry about flipping switches, and it goes off on its own like it should. So there's other options that cost more, they're more expensive. This is one of the videos titled cheapest, easiest way to do this. There's alternatives, just keep that in mind. Not gonna do a preaching lesson. This Jeep was never supposed to have this motor. They put it in there, the radiator's too small, and they're just known for running hot. We're gonna leave it at that. We're gonna work on the fan. So I've got this fan controller. You can see the numbers, Hayden brand. They call it a switch interrupter. And then I've got this thing from Walmart. This was $4. You just seen I shoot the receipt up, $4.99. Can't find my receipt on this. I'll put the price up here. Actually, I'll just Google it. All right, it's pretty cheap. Pretty sure y'all can read numbers. About 20 bucks, give or take. I'm sure O'Reilly's or AutoZone, whatever you use, is gonna be more, but that puts me at like $25 to make this fan work. Gonna need a couple connectors. Let's see what it looks like. Our fuse holder, that's pretty self-explanatory, and if you don't feel like buying a fuse, it's gonna be okay, but for $4 or $5, even you can even make your own. But that's just some security that your Jeep don't burn down. So let's see. Let me get all this opened up. So it does come with instructions. I've done enough of these. I'm not even gonna bother reading these. If you want to, you can. Comes with way too much wire. I got a bunch of it I keep in here from excess, but little bracket to mount it, and then this is the main part right here. I would assume this is like a spring and something that gets hot and clicks over and stuff like that. I'll show you working when it gets working. But it's got this, I guess, aluminum wire here that transfers heat to it, and you're supposed to stick this in the probe of the radiator, and that's what this thing here is for, to hold it in the radiator. But I'll show you how I do it, and it's even easier. So again, there's the bracket. You'd mount that and then just screw that there, and then this is your adjustment. So we'll get straight on it. It's pretty simple. I think I've got everything mapped out. One thing is you're gonna need this connector right here, and this one I can't even tell where the factory wiring was. And that's what I'm gonna say. This is a right-hand drive. That shouldn't change anything. We're just hooking up a fan, 2 wires. On a regular left-hand drive, the fan will be on this side. Like I said, it shouldn't cancel anything out. I was just doing it to this end, so I'm gonna learn you how. So this connector, we're just gonna slide it off. Luckily, I'm just gonna catch a ground right here. If you want, you can go to the battery. It just makes a mess. Eventually, you get a bunch of them stacked on there. And then, like right here, that's supposed to be right there. Instead of connecting off the battery terminal, you can. It just becomes a mess. I always pull this thing back right there and then connect off that stud. It just runs right around there and comes back to there. So just make it a little cleaner. But I think we'll mount it right here. Got plenty of room. Comes with 2 screws to go to there, and then we're gonna screw that to the body. Luckily, this thing's long enough to make it to that stud I was speaking of, so we'll use one of them that it come with, and then I've got just a regular old eyelet I'm gonna crimp onto there. So that piece will get us to the interrupter deal, and then we'll use this wire to go to the fan. That's what I got to thinking. If you're doing this and you don't have the plug, then you probably need it. So I went to the junkyard. I got 5 newer models and 5 older models. Of course, I got hundreds more, but those will be on the website in case you need them. Something I never thought about, but you may need it. I'm gonna get me a ground crimped onto there and get these crimped and mount this thing. Pretty easy setup here. The only thing I run into, number one, I forgot about the hood rod. It's got to flop over and catch right here. So I had it mounted there. All I've done is I'm spinning it down, and somebody's probably wondering how I got a self tapper in right here. You can see it don't quite work, so I've got an extension. If you want to mount it anywhere, you can. It's got plenty of wire. Got my hot run right there. We'll cover it back up, give or take. That'll do the job. And then got Oh, that's what I forgot to say. At the start of the video, that was me trying to figure out which wire is positive or negative. Unless it's an aftermarket or they change during the years, black is going to be the ground. And then I think blue on this one. Yeah, that one was blue too. Worst case, it blows the wrong way, you flip them around, nothing happens. So got the black wire grounded. That can be here, that can be a motor, that can be there. Then the blue wire, I've got it run to the other side. Those can go in any turn, either way, it doesn't matter how they go. So we will have to be setting up the screw here to adjust it. Like, it's just sitting here. I think I can turn it on. Yeah. So that's literally adjusted to essentially 86 degrees maybe. Turn it around. Now I was just showing them like the key's off, nobody's in there. It's not running. But you get a little heat across the little probe there. Let it soak in. We'll give it a little more heat. Let it soak in. I swear it works. Give it just a little more heat. Oh, there we go. So that's up to temperature. It kicked it on. Now that fan should cool it off. Takes a little bit longer than I was expecting. Yep, there we go. Nobody's even around. Again, this is the cheapest, simplest way to automatically control it. There's fancier systems that come on with the AC, with a key, go off with a key. I didn't even think about it. You could run this to a source that comes on with the key. Again, if you're on a Cherokee, you've probably heard of heat soak and all that. So I actually like this. You turn it off, and I'm gonna explain that in a video. I got to think about it. It's pretty cool. But anyway, the Cherokee, when you turn it off, it actually gets warmer than it is running temperatures. So let a little fan run while it's off, kind of move some air. It's actually a good thing as long as you got a good battery. And that is one thing. I've been running these on WJ fans, which are like twice that size, and I melted one of them down. So I got the instructions, and I think these are rated for 20 amps. I'm pretty sure that's enough for this fan. Well, it's already working, but we'll see. Luckily, 96 doesn't tell me which fuse is for the fan. Oh, there it is. Auxiliary fan. Where's that at? No, that's the relay. Sorry, my bad. I guess I could pull these till one of them quit for the fan or whatever. I didn't even think about it. You could have got your hot from the auxiliary fan thing, and then you wouldn't even have done the fuse and save you $5. So next step, all the wiring's essentially done. It's that easy. Now we got to do something with this. If you feel like taking this thing apart and sticking it through the radiator, you can, but this is how I do it. Again, easy. Is I'm just going to put it in a split loom right here and tape it to this radiator hose, and it'll keep some heat in there. Somebody will comment something negative. I've done several of them and they've all worked just fine. So let me get that knocked out and we'll set the temperature. I don't see how it'd be possible to have a video named cheap, easy, yada 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 without some duct tape and zip ties. So I got it taped up where it can't fall out, and then I've got zip ties. Again, never had trouble out of that, but worst case that falls off and your fan didn't come on like the problem you was having before. So now I took the battery terminal off. I kept getting close to a hot there and a hot there and fuses, so just to be a little safe. Now we got to set the temperature for this thing. Ideally, you should probably go drive it and get it up to operating temperature. I'm just gonna let it sit here and idle. Once the thermostat, because this is not a constant flow hose, the thermostat's got to open up, so you can hold your hand on there while it's running. When it gets up to operating temperature, you can actually feel it. So crank it up, let it run. Not going to argue that, but you need a thermostat if you're running a Cherokee. Just trust me. Now we're just going to fire it up. I'm just going to walk away and come back in about 10 minutes or so. I guess we should be safe. Let's just unplug this. That way it runs without the fan coming on, and we know it's at pretty good high temperature. While it's running, I'll just go ahead and show you a couple of wire crimpers, cutters, a Phillips screwdriver, and it comes with a wire. And technically you're supposed to need a flathead, but I can just use my finger on it. And it pretty much comes with everything else, just a couple wire connectors. Again, Hayden 3653, a fuse holder, and then that if you want to go buy one of them, that'd be cool. Or you can go buy a hat. I'm gonna keep letting her warm up. All right, so I can make a catchy thumbnail. I'm gonna be holding a $20 bill. I showed you the fan controller was less than $20, but you had to buy the fuse holder. if you wanted to save the $5, I pulled the auxiliary fan relay out, and if you flip it over, what my thumb is touching right there is number 30, and you can see it's a hot, so, well, I'll just do it. And before I forget to say it, if you had the big relays, it would be number 30 as well on it. It may go dead. I wonder what the fuse for the fan is. 25? Nope. 30? Oh, that's not it. Doubt it's a 10. Oop. 15? That's it right there. Look at there. No, I just moved, didn't it? Dang it. Alright. So maybe it's the big ones out here. It's got to be a 20. I can't get out. We'll try number 30. There we go. So that is your fan fuse right there. That'd be the way you could find it if you wanted to find it, see what it is. Alright, anyways, back to warming up. I was just showing you that. So I could title the video, Automatic Fan for Less Than $20. Alright, it's been idling for about 20 minutes now, and let's see. Yeah, when I plug it up, it's trying to come on, so we'll cut it back. Let's see, I think I'll turn it clockwise. Won't go too far. It's not coming on, so what I do is I slowly turn it back till it clicks on, and then I turn it forward. Because right here is the temperature it's comfortable at. So you want it to, when it gets hot or warmer than normal, to kick on. So we'll turn it back. I know y'all probably can't see. Screwdriver probably make this more precise. Slowly turn it back. So it just kicked on, you hear it. I'm gonna turn it just a tad bit forward. That way, like I said, it's not on, everything's good. You driving, whatever happens, it don't matter. And it gets hotter than, sitting at like 185 right now, so when it gets like 200, it probably kick on. In theory, you should be good to go. I'm gonna roll this back around, put another screw in it, should be good to go. Got everything buttoned up, it should work good. Cheapest way possible. One more I'm gonna show you. Not in this video, maybe in next one. I was looking on my shelf, I have a 3647, which is, it says dual fans, but they control the same thing. I don't really understand. Like this one has one relay, it's got a screw down there, it's got a probe there, you got on with the ignition, you got a AC wire. It's a little more complex. And then you can step up to, there's another one that has dual fans that comes on, let's see, you set one to come on at 180, whatever you set it at, and then the next fan comes on at 10 degrees hotter. So it's like a dual fan setup kind of deal. Anyways, I think that's all I got for the Cherokee today. Just something I was doing. If you got any suggestions, have a good day.